MDC, Brooklyn, built in the 1990s, was intended to relieve pressure on New York's Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, but quickly earned a reputation for poor conditions. Originally constructed as a facility for pretrial detainees and short-term sentences, MDC has housed both low and high-risk detainees, including several notable figures. The facility's infamy grew in 2019 when a prolonged power outage during winter left inmates without heat, lighting, or sufficient food for nearly a week. This incident led to public outrage, protests, and a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, which highlighted long-standing issues of neglect and overcrowding within the facility. In addition to its operational challenges, MDC has also faced safety concerns related to inmate treatment. With a population exceeding its capacity, MDC has reported cases of violence among inmates and incidents of abuse or neglect by staff. The lack of adequate medical care has led to multiple deaths in recent years, including those of Uriel White and Edwin Cordero in 2023. These tragic cases have fueled criticism over the center's ability to protect inmates, especially those of high-profile status, and raised questions about its capacity to handle detainees like Diddy. Diddy's legal team has already cited MDC's hazardous conditions in their appeal for bail, arguing that his celebrity status makes him especially vulnerable to threats from other inmates. Although high-profile inmates may receive limited separation from the general population, MDC's crowded conditions and staffing issues mean that these protections are not always consistent. For Diddy, MDC represents a stark contrast from his former life, exposing him to the real risks and harsh conditions within the American federal detention system. Diddy's legal team faces significant challenges in defending him against charges that could lead to a lengthy prison sentence if proven in court. The allegations against him remain partially under seal, but they reportedly involve serious accusations related to financial misconduct, potentially including fraud or racketeering. Such charges carry substantial penalties, and cases like his are often vigorously pursued by federal prosecutors. With public interest in the case high, Diddy's defense team is expected to challenge every aspect of the prosecution's claims. Central to Diddy's defense is the attempt to discredit the prosecution's evidence and witnesses, a strategy that could include exposing procedural errors or questioning the legality of evidence collection. In pre-trial hearings, his lawyers may work to highlight inconsistencies in the case, aiming to establish reasonable doubt. Alongside their legal tactics, Diddy's team has filed for bail, citing MDC's unsafe conditions as a direct threat to his health and safety. If granted, bail could allow Diddy to avoid MDC's harsh environment while preparing for trial. In addition to his courtroom strategy, Diddy's defense is likely to use media and public relations tactics to influence public perception. High-profile cases often involve a parallel trial in the court of public opinion, where media coverage and statements from his team can sway public sympathy or skepticism. By maintaining a strong public defense and challenging the charges, Diddy's legal team hopes to mitigate the impact on his reputation, while building a case that could lead to acquittal or reduced charges. The legal journey ahead for Diddy carries multiple possible outcomes, each with its own implications. If Diddy's defense team succeeds in casting doubt on the prosecution's case, he could be acquitted of the charges or face significantly reduced penalties. This would be the most favorable outcome for Diddy, allowing him to avoid prison and potentially recover from the reputational damage inflicted by the allegations. An acquittal or plea to lesser charges could also pave the way for Diddy to rebuild his career, though he may still face civil suits or additional scrutiny, depending on the nature of the evidence presented in court. In the event of a conviction, Diddy could face a sentence of 10 to 25 years or more, depending on the final charges and sentencing guidelines. This outcome would represent a drastic lifestyle shift for the music mogul, who would likely be moved to a federal facility designated for long-term detention. A conviction would not only strip Diddy of his freedom, but could also impact his financial assets, business interests, and public legacy. For high-profile figures, such a sentence is often compounded by media coverage, complicating any efforts to repair their reputation after release. However, there is also the possibility that Diddy's case may become protracted, with appeals and post-conviction motions potentially extending the legal battle. High-profile cases often involve layers of legal proceedings, from initial trials to appeals and hearings for sentence adjustments. Even if Diddy faces a conviction, his legal team may continue to pursue avenues for reduced sentencing or early release, drawing on legal precedents and mitigation arguments. Each of these potential outcomes will shape Diddy's future in drastically different ways. If convicted, Diddy's placement within the federal prison system will be influenced by his security classification, the severity of his charges, and other considerations related to his high-profile status. Federal prison placements are based on a range of factors, including the nature of the offense and any specific security concerns. Several prisons have emerged as likely placements for Diddy, each with unique risks and reputations. The Federal Correctional Institution, FCI Coleman, in Florida is one probable option. Known for housing high-profile and non-violent offenders, FCI Coleman offers both medium and low-security units, but has a reputation for overcrowding and inadequate mental health care. Despite these challenges, Coleman generally offers a safer environment than high-security prisons, though Diddy's celebrity status could still create tensions. Another possibility is the United States Penitentiary, USP, Atlanta, a high-security prison with a turbulent history of guard misconduct, violence, and strict lockdown measures. For Diddy, USP Atlanta would pose significant risks, as the facility's high-stress atmosphere and intense security protocols are likely to take a mental and emotional toll. With frequent incidents of violence and a reputation for inadequate medical care, USP Atlanta presents challenges that could be amplified by Diddy's fame. Another option is ADX Florence, Colorado, the nation's only supermax federal prison, reserved for the most dangerous inmates. Known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies, ADX Florence enforces extreme solitary confinement policies, which have been reported to cause severe psychological effects in inmates. While unlikely due to the nonviolent nature of Diddy's charges, ADX Florence remains a possible destination if he is deemed a unique security risk. If Diddy were to be assigned to a low-security facility, FCI Danbury in Connecticut could be considered. Known for holding nonviolent offenders and individuals with white-collar convictions, FCI Danbury offers a relatively lenient environment, although overcrowding and limited privacy have been reported. For Diddy, Danbury might provide a safer and more rehabilitative setting compared to higher security facilities. Diddy's case has sparked rumors and conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that he may possess recordings or sensitive information about powerful figures. Although these claims lack concrete evidence, they have fueled speculation that his life may be at risk if he is incarcerated. High-profile figures alleged to have compromising information have faced heightened scrutiny and threats, leading to questions about Diddy's safety in a federal detention environment. Sean Diddy Combs' case at MDC Brooklyn shines a spotlight on the difficult reality facing high-profile defendants in America's legal and prison systems. As he awaits trial, his future hangs in the balance, with potential outcomes ranging from acquittal to a lengthy prison sentence. The path forward for Diddy is fraught with challenges, both legal and personal, that could permanently alter his legacy. For the public, his case raises deeper questions about celebrity justice, prison reform, and the lasting impact of a single legal battle on a once-celebrated career. Whatever the verdict, Diddy's journey is a reminder of the far-reaching,